Ooh, this is going to be a long one. The Most Disturbing Things on Asian Internet, Volume 2. Abyssal Detective 2.
"20 cases, 7 levels. I spent hours on the Asian side of the internet and gathered the most disturbing things into this iceberg."
How do you get to the Asian side of the internet? I don't even understand that. Is there like an option that I just haven't noticed?
We'll begin with the unsettling and gradually uncover things so gruesome you'll regret watching this video alone.
Sometimes I wonder if these are even okay to be watching.
So let's start at the tip of this iceberg. Level 1. Lost and Found. A late-night live streamer walked in.
I mean, it's on YouTube, you know? I mean, I guess it's fine. I mean, Twitch would have a problem with it, I guess, maybe, but that's okay. That's totally fine.
To an abandoned house in South Korea and encountered something no one had ever seen before. On April 2nd, 2021, when YouTube BJ was exploring the abandoned house in Iksan, his viewers expected the usual jump scares and staged reactions. But when the streamer went deeper inside, the camera suddenly captured a dark shape in one of the rooms. Since abandoned buildings are usually filled with shadows and broken furniture, neither the audience nor the live streamer immediately panicked. Instead, he decided to approach the shape to entertain his viewers, completely unaware of what he was walking into. The moment the camera got deeper, his face went pale. The shape wasn't some debris, it was human skeletal remains.
Oh, well, that's fair, actually, to be terrified if you see a dead body in a abandoned... I wouldn't blame anybody for that.
At first, the viewers thought it was just another well-crafted horror set piece, but only the streamer knew the truth. He had no idea whether it was the body of someone homeless or a secret murder scene he was never meant to see. Not knowing what to do, he panicked and immediately ran out of the abandoned house. Later, the case went to the Iksan police, who further confirmed that the remains belonged to a real human. But the real challenge was identifying who it was. Since the house had been abandoned, the authorities assumed it might have been a homeless person or a squatter. But for some strange reason, no confirmed identity or cause of death has been announced.
Well, that's just kind of odd, though, from the police, you know? They have his remains. How are we not going to make sure who it is, you know? That's kind of... Dude, these videos always get into that, and it always results in the destination being upset with the police, for me. And it's so annoying.
Confirmed identity or cause of death has been announced. A quick step out. At the famous open zoo, the Safari World Bangkok, tourists sat safely inside their car expecting a refreshing wildlife adventure, only to be
Ooh, dude, this looks fun as shit. It's like a zoo, but no, like, pens. Like, they're all open. And you could, like, you know, really talk to a zebra. I feel like when you're behind the gate thing, it, you know, it's not really hearing you, you know? It's hearing it, it's not really listening, you know? It's that thing.
Inside their car, expecting a refreshing wildlife adventure, only to be traumatized for life.
And that's kind of a sick G.
Jian Rangkarsimi, the supervisor of the place and a 30-year veteran of lions and tigers, accompanied the tourists on the morning of September 11th, 2025. While exploring the predator zone, they saw a bunch...
Okay, that's kind of scary, though. I feel like they should be locked up a little bit. Unless they're just really friendly.
Of lions sitting peacefully in the sun about 10 meters away. But suddenly, Jian stepped out from his Jeep to pick something up. That caught the attention of one of the lions. After watching Jian's movement for a couple of moments, it made its way toward him so casually that no one sensed any danger. And no one was prepared for what came next. The moment the lion came close enough, it lunged at him violently and dragged him to the ground. Things immediately grew worse as the other lions also rushed in. The horrified tourists inside their...
Oh my god, they're eating him right now? That's terrifying. He's already gone.
Grew worse as the other lions also rushed in. The horrified tourists inside their cars started honking and shouting to shoo them away, but it was too late. The lions had already begun tearing
Oh
into
my
Jian's flesh,
God.
creating a grotesque scene to look at. Fellow staff members rushed to the scene immediately and even fired shots into the
Ew, they're all covered in his blood.
air to scare the lions away, but the beasts didn't move easily. When Jian was eventually pulled away, he had already suffered severe injuries to his neck,
Holy
abdomen,
shit.
and right leg.
Dude, there was like 5 lions on him. I mean, you're not surviving that. I'm sorry.
With that extent of damage, he didn't stand much of a chance, and so he died on his way to the hospital.
Oh,
Investigators
jeez.
found that Jian had broken a strict zoo rule that no one was allowed to step out of the car since the lions roamed freely without barriers. And that single mistake cost him his life.
Wow, they're really picky, those cats. The big cats. They're real picky. And they just kill you. Oh my God, dude, that was awful. He got mauled by 5 lions.
Level 2.
And that was level 1. Like what? These videos blow my mind every time.
Crowdfunded to be doomed. A man walked into a building on November 8th, 2017 and went past the 40th floor without being noticed. And he was only getting started. After the elevator ride ended, he climbed even higher, scaling roughly 20 more floors from the outside.
Why though?
His goal was to reach the top of the 62-story building Huayuanhua Center in Changsha. From the ground, it was too high to notice him, but online, more than 1 million followers were watching him live.
Oh, he was already on top.
The man-
He's like hanging. Oh.
Man was Wu Yongying, the first Chinese rooftopper and a former martial arts trainee who climbed skyscrapers using only his training, grip strength, and precise movements. And there was one signature move that set him apart. He never used any safety gear. That day, at the edge of the building, he wiped a ledge clean for a better grip and slipped over. His legs hung in the open air while his hands locked onto the concrete. It looked terrifying, but Wu Yongyin's signature had done this several times before. Only this time, something went wrong. His arms suddenly trembled and his body strained. He tried lifting himself higher multiple times, but
Bro, and you have you already have the adrenaline of like dying here, and then it's just not enough, and your body gives out. That's terrifying.
but failed. Eventually, after clinging for a few more seconds, his strength gave out, and millions watched in horror as Wu Yongying fell from the 62-story building. For weeks, nobody had any idea what happened to him after that. Finally, on December 8th, his girlfriend, whom Wu Yongying had planned to propose to the very next day, confirmed that Wu had fallen approximately 45 feet onto a terrace below.
Maybe he just wanted to get out of it, you know? Maybe.
A window cleaner there later discovered his body.
That's
But
super
this
sad,
story
though.
revealed another tragic truth about Wu. He was never about thrills or fame. The reason was much more personal. He turned to rooftoping after injuries ended his competitive career in martial arts, leaving him jobless.
Bro, how do you go from martial arts to a more dangerous hobby, like after an injury? That's I don't even understand. Like I respect it.
the money that came with rooftoping, Wu was paying for his mother's treatment, preparing for his wedding, and securing the family.
Made at least 550. Made 62 grand from sharing his clips on the platform. I mean, that's pretty good for like, I don't know though. You're risking your life though. I don't know if that's actually good.
Future. In fact, this time too, he had taken on the $15,000 crowdfunded rooftoping challenge promoted by the Huaqiao app. But sadly, in an attempt to secure a stable future, he lost the chance of having one at all.
Bro, that seems illegal to have a contest like that at all. Sues live streaming app and wins $4,300. That's it? Oh, okay, so she did sue them, which is good for that contest, but she only made $4,300 off of it. Like, that's free, and he died.
Funded rooftoping challenge promoted by the Huaqiao app. But sadly, in an attempt to secure a stable future, he lost the chance of having one at all.
Wow, that was dark, dude.
Streamed
I don't know what his name is.
to the edge. A 22-year-old man in Vietnam left home before midnight. But on the night of February 25th, 2023, something happened that ensured he would never make it back. Instead of riding in silence, he began live streaming on Facebook as he sped down the empty road. The speed climbed dangerously from 100 to 130 kilometers per hour,
Oh my
yet
God.
he kept accelerating. However, shortly after 12:05 a.m., as he approached a roadside ditch, his attention shifted to his live stream for a moment. A distraction at that speed could only lead to one outcome. The motorbike suddenly wobbled so hard that he lost control. The bike
Dude, that's so unfortunate. He probably just checked and there was like no movement on there. And he's like, I'm going as fast as possible. I'm just not getting any viewers. I don't get it.
quickly veered toward the side of the road with a dangerous force hitting the ditch. The impact was so catastrophic that it threw him onto the road, ending the live stream instantly. When local authorities arrived at the scene, they found him dead, lying near the damaged motorbike. The footage stored on his phone clearly showed that at the moment of impact, he had been traveling at 141 kilometers per hour, all while
Wow.
recording himself for social media. Footsteps
But what happened to, like, he just crashed? Like, he didn't hit into
threw
something?
him onto the road, ending the live stream. The impact was so side of the road with a dangerous force hitting the ditch. The impact was so catastrophic that it threw him onto the road, ending the live stream instantly.
I thought it said that they found him next to his bike. Like, how did that even... Usually they go flying from the bike, like he said.
When local authorities
All right. I had to catch up on that one.
footsteps into darkness. A man from Turkey, Necdet Turan,
Oh, he's a goose. I didn't know you could hold a goose like that. That's a goose, right? I don't,
left his hometown on April 20th,
he kind of looks like a...
2024 with two friends walking toward Istanbul
Fusi. He kind of looks like Fusi Tube.
to meet his idol, the famous Turkish chef Sizyen Barak. But halfway through the journey, something happened that he never saw coming. Each day, Necdet streamed part of his journey and shared daily anecdotes. People who had seen Necdet's videos before believed this was just another bold walking challenge that would end in celebration. However, on April 28th, 2024,
Man, I don't know if I could do a walking challenge. That seems kind of boring. I mean, I love pacing, so I guess the walking's kind of the same thing, just pacing really long in one direction.
or around 8:30 p.m., when Necdet Turan opened another live broadcast on the Aksaray-Ankara highway, everything went haywire. First, the screen showed a usual dark road and distant headlights. Suddenly, bright headlights filled the frame, followed by a loud impact that cut through his voice. Turns out, a light commercial truck had suddenly come his way and struck Necdet from behind.
Biliyor musunuz?
Bayram mübarek.
Broadcast
Oh my God, dude, that'd be horrible. That'd be horrible to be the guy that goes through that.
captured the chaos as his friends shouted in panic and called the paramedics. Within minutes, the emergency teams rushed him to the hospital, but he wouldn't make it. Later, authorities detained the truck driver.
Bro, a light commercial truck? There's no way you're surviving. Even a sedan at that speed, I feel like would... Good chance it would kill you.
71-year-old Bayram Celebi, who claimed he had not realized he had hit a person. Eventually, the driver was released under judicial control. Meanwhile, instead of Istanbul, Necdet Turan's body was taken back to his hometown of Kayseri for burial. And these incidents were surely unsettling, but the next levels are going to get much more psychotic. So hit subscribe.
I just don't know how he finds these. Like, he genuinely has to spend hours looking for these, because I don't know. I don't know, man. He has so many videos, too. It's crazy.
The music stops. Every evening at around 7, music filled China's Bodun Square, and residents gathered to dance. But on June 30th,
Ooh, now that looked fun though. That's a party. What a way to do it.
China's Bodun
And it doesn't look all trashy and stuff, you know?
Square, and residents
It might be though. Everyone's got their phone out though, so it doesn't seem all that trashy.
gathered to dance. But on June 30th, 2024, things took a strange turn. Among the dancers was 54-year-old Zhao Momo, a local
Sorry.
internet celebrity widely known as Bag Brother or Zhao Baoge, who had become
Zhao
famous
Baoge.
for clutching a bag while square dancing. That night, while Zhao Mao Mao was dancing as usual, another 53-year-old guy, Xiao Mao Mao, stood at the edge of the square. He was drunk and intently watching everyone vibing when he suddenly made eye contact with Zhao. That brief moment sealed Zhao's fate.
Why?
Zhai quickly walked towards Zhao, not to dance, but with a knife in his hand.
Oh, wait, why? What? I missed something again, bro.
Or Zhao Baoge, who had become famous for clutching a bag while square dancing. That night, while Zhao Mao Mao was dancing as usual, another 53-year-old guy, Xiao Mao Mao,
Is it the name? Is he upset about something like that?
stood at the and he suddenly Zhai quickly walked towards Zhao, not to dance, but with a knife in his hand.
That's insane.
And in front of dozens of bystanders, he attacked him ferociously without warning. The music stopped at once. People froze and stepped back in shock. But what makes it so disturbing is that despite Zhao falling covered in blood, Zhai did not stop. He continued stabbing him again and again until he died as if driven by long...
I mean, I kind of get that, though. I mean, at that point, everyone's just too scared because they're going to get stabbed, too. And it's actually kind of rational. But, I mean, you do have to stop him.
...held revenge. As chaos erupted, a bystander quickly alerted the authorities, and Zhai, likely impaired by intoxication, did not attempt to flee. Police arrived within minutes and arrested him on the spot. But after interrogation...
Dude, and everyone's just around, and there's nothing you could do about it because there's so many people. You just have to, like, make a little perimeter.
The police revealed that Zhai had no previous connection with Zhao at all. In fact, he and the victim had never met before that day.
Wow. It was like a weird parasocial thing.
Officers claimed that alcohol alone had fueled the aggression and led to the killing. The case remained under further investigation, but no more specific details were disclosed publicly. Song cut short.
Wow, dude, that one was crazy. I mean, that's like really scary that someone could just be capable of that because of alcohol.
Hertalina Simanjuntak from North Sumatra was singing a religious song on a Facebook Live when her husband suddenly appeared from behind with sinister intention.
Oh my God. Dude, how do you even find these cases? This is like really hard on the brain, dude. All these videos, that's why these ones are hard, because it's so long too. And then it's just like despair on your brain.
Instead of joining the singing, August Herbin Tambun picked up a kitchen knife, and before anyone could react, he began stabbing Hertalina left and right. The family members screamed in shock as one relative tried to pull her away while another attempted to stop August. But Hertalina had already collapsed on the floor, bleeding heavily from her wounds.
Holy fuck.
The brutal incident happened on November 2nd, 2024, after which August fled the area immediately.
Bro, that's like recent, dude. What the fuck? Just randomly?
Rushed Hertalina to Shivani Hospital, but the injuries were so critical that she couldn't survive for long. On the other hand, the police launched a manhunt for August, and within 24 hours of the attack, they located him hiding at another relative's house in Pon Village. However, while he was questioned...
Bro, if somebody in my family came to me and was like, yeah, I stabbed somebody in the neck a bunch of times or something, or like I did a bad thing, and I found out that was it, dude, no. You're not staying at my house.
And it revealed a tragic truth about the estranged couple. They had only been married for 1 year after getting divorced from their previous marriages. But August believed Hertalina was still in touch with her ex-husband. This made him jealous and harbor resentment for a long time. As those feelings piled up, they eventually exploded into violence that night. Consequently, August was charged with murder, carrying a possible resentment for a long
Actions were fueled by anger and jealousy over someone's continued frequent contact with her ex-husband?
being divorced from their previous marriages. But August believed Hertelina was still in touch with her ex-husband. This made him jealous and harbor resentment for a long time. As those feelings piled up, they eventually exploded into violence.
I don't know if that's like rational though at all. I mean, that's a crazy response for anything.
That night. Consequently, August was charged with murder, carrying a possible prison sentence of 7 to 15 years. What had started as a simple family karaoke session tragically ended as a recorded act of violence that shocked the entire country. Level 4. An uncanny promotion. A 23-year-old woman, Paloma Jovillanos, live-streamed from a vegetable store in the Philippines, completely unaware that someone nearby had been watching her for a long time. Around 7:30 p.m. on January 16th, 2026,
Yo, that is super recent.
a man wearing a face mask and a ball cap walked toward her. While she was right in the middle of the broadcast, the man suddenly pulled out a gun and fired at her at close range.
What the
Paloma
fuck?
slumped over instantly as the bullet hit the back of her neck. The witnesses around immediately rushed toward
Oh
her,
my
but the
God.
panic gave the man an opportunity
Dude, what? Like that's so random. I mean, yeah, you've been stalking her, but man, these are crazy,
Paloma
man.
slumped
It just lose your faith in humanity like instantly.
over instantly as the bullet hit the back of her neck. The witnesses around immediately rushed toward her, but the panic gave the man an opportunity to escape the scene on a motorcycle waiting nearby. However, the attacker couldn't stay on the run for long. The next day, January
Yeah, bro, everybody saw you.
17th, 2026, police officers arrested the 31-year-old suspect identified as Freddie. Investigators identified the man as the live-in partner of the store owner where Paloma worked. Just days earlier, their relationship ended after Paloma told the owner that he was seeing other women. After the breakup, the former couple divided their assets, which eventually made Paloma the manager of the store. Therefore, driven by anger over the breakup and the loss of property, the man...
Ooh, yeah, that's tough. I mean, when you have to split property and shit, I feel like that's different. Like that could be really rough. So, I don't know. It's not rational still. It's kind of an insane thing to do.
And decided to kill Paloma in revenge. But to everyone's shock, in a report aired on 24 Horas Weekend, the suspect denied shooting her, though he admitted he had been in the neighborhood before the attack. He even insisted he was not angry with Paloma for exposing him and claimed he could not have harmed her.
Bro, you did it in front of so many people. I mean, you're just expecting nobody is going to be like taking note of that. They'll just be like, oh, like it was like a party, bro. Like,
after being rushed to the hospital, Paloma luckily survived, but the suspect couldn't avoid the charges of attempted murder.
Oh, well, that's good. I feel like you'd lose like spinal function, right? If it hit your spine.
Hidden intentions. A former corporator walked into an office in IC Colony, India, and sat down beside a local social worker expecting a truce. In fact, a Facebook live stream had already started to record that, but what the stream captured was the last thing anyone expected. After a long-standing political rivalry between politician Abhishek Gosalkar and the local social worker Maurice Norenha, or Maurice Bai, word spread that they had patched up. On February 8th, 2024, they even declared to celebrate the reconciliation publicly on Facebook Live. So, the viewers believed that they were about to witness a political treaty unfold in real time.
Bro, this one's going to be even crazier. It has to be. And I can't even imagine what it's going to be.
But the moment both cameras went off after the public speeches, gunshots rang out. The video captured the sudden burst of violence when Maurice Bai fired 3 bullets point blank at Abhishek Gosalkar. The victim was so severely injured that he couldn't even make it to the hospital and succumbed to his injuries. Police believed that Maurice probably never intended to reconcile with Abhishek. Rather, he had used the so-called treaty meeting as a setup for...
And having it on live, you're like, there's no way anything bad's gonna happen to me. And then they just puts 3 in your chest. Like, what the fuck? There's no way to expect that.
for revenge. He carefully created the image of a truce by putting up banners praising Abhishek
Wow, he went really far with it. Just to kill him? And it's so public.
Gosokar publicly and hosting the meeting inside his own office where he controlled everything. This made sense because Gosokar had earlier implicated Maurice in a cheating case leading to a 90-day jail term.
Okay.
But that day, Maurice Bai's plan wasn't to kill Gosokar alone. To avoid the consequences, he turned the firearm on himself and took his own life. Later, a deeper investigation revealed a cryptic Facebook post that read, "You can't defeat a man who doesn't care about pain, loss, disrespect, heartbreak, and rejection."
Wow, he really did it for his political stance? That's great. Just to make him look extra bad?
Maurice Bai posted this just 10 days before the incident, proving that the signs were already there. But by the time anyone noticed, it was already too late. A dysfunctional bond. A man called Arvind Parihar stood outside Rup Singh Cricket Stadium in India as if he were casually waiting for someone. But deep down, he was quietly preparing to take a drastic step. That day, his wife Nandini Kawat and her boyfriend Ankush Pathak were also walking toward the road near Rup Singh Cricket Stadium. So Arvind stood there to intercept them. And the moment they came in sight, Arvind pulled out a pistol without warning and shot 5 rounds at Nandini. The loud gunshots froze the traffic. 4 bullets struck the wife, collapsing her instantly onto the road as people screamed and scattered.
Dude, some people really got to figure out how to, like, express your anger in a way that's not going to ruin your entire life. Like, this is just a moment of anger that you're dealing with.
Instead of escaping, Arvind just sat beside her body, holding the pistol, daring anyone to come closer.
Just like the DeAndre guy from the other video. Oh my god, that one was crazy.
A shocking turn, he went live on Facebook, waving the pistol again and ranting about his wife and her affair. When police arrived, he pointed the gun toward them as well, refusing to surrender. However, after a tense standoff, police overpowered and eventually arrested him. Nandini was rushed to the hospital immediately, but soon died from her injuries.
I mean, I don't know. I don't get why in situations like that, like, you don't just take him down too. Like, he just killed somebody, you know?
Only Ankush survived the attack. But what surprised the police was that even during questioning, Arvind showed no remorse. Instead, he smiled and claimed he felt free from daily quarrels. Even worse, he said he only regretted that she did not die in front of him and that he would have felt relieved if she had.
Wow.
When the police dug deep,
dude, he just holds that grudge all the way through. That's kind of hard, bro. Like,
it only opened a Pandora's box of a long-standing hatred. Arvind and Nandini had met at a beauty parlor in 2022. Quickly, they became friends on social media, exchanged comments, and eventually got married in the next year. But Nandini was divorced and Arvind was already married with 2 children. As a result, what began with messages and promises soon turned into public accusations. Both of them accused each other of infidelity and filed legal complaints.
oh wow. Well, you're both just awful then. Because y'all both trifling.
Claiming he had tried to run her over with a car. It led to Arvind's arrest, though he was later released on bail. However, in the months leading up to September, their relationship deteriorated further. To worsen the matter even more, just 4 days before the ambush, Arvind had watched a Facebook video in which Nandini was celebrating Ankush's birthday. As a result, filled with rage and jealousy, Arvind decided...
Wow. From a birthday celebration video on Facebook, you got triggered like that? Oh my god. What a baby, dude.
Another man, Firoz Khan, with whom she was having an affair. Both were jailed together for over 4 years, but acquitted due to a lack of evidence.
Okay, that seems a little fishy, but, you know, third world stuff, I guess, kind of runs different.
In Moscow, walked into his school, carrying a bag like any other day. Only that afternoon, he had a chilling surprise inside. November 1st, 2017, during a break between classes, Andrei entered their health and safety teacher, Sergei Danilov's classroom while the teacher was alone. What happened next between them unfolded quickly and mostly out of sight. The moment the teacher's guard was down, Andrei attacked him brutally with a hunting knife.
Oh my God.
There were no loud
Bro, I feel like good knives are just way too far. Like you're like, it's, I guess a good way for them to express anger because it's so like graphic and extreme, but it's like, it's so graphic and extreme and personal. Like you got to really feel some rage to be capable of stabbing somebody once, let alone like 60 times like we've seen.
Screams heard in the corridor, and no one realized what was happening behind those closed doors. But within minutes, the 44-year-old teacher lay in a pool of his own blood. Surprisingly, instead of fleeing, Andrei took out his phone and posted several photographs of Danilov's body on his VKontakte, the Russian version of Facebook.
Dude, Russians are next level with it, dude. That's holy fuck. Detectives later found several other weapons in the student's bag, suggesting that he may have been planning a larger attack.
Andrei kept clicking photos and selfies casually, posing beside the body.
Oh my God, dude. He just completely broke and just like desensitized. There's no other way to like exhibit behavior like that.
Influenced by
wow.
Horror when they entered the classroom. At first, police suspected Andrei had been influenced by the Blue Whale Challenge, a notorious online game linked to youngsters themselves in Russia. Recently, they revealed an unsettling reason behind the entire incident. For several weeks before November 2017, Andrei had seemed withdrawn, tired of school, and often skipping lessons, but no one knew the reason. Classmates described Andrei as an introverted boy who always greeted everyone politely, yet after being bullied several times by his peers, he began carrying a knife to protect himself. The teachers were unaware of this. Instead, because of truancy, Sergei Danilov warned him that he could face expulsion. In fact, tensions between them had been building since September when Sergei became his class teacher. Sergei was strict but fair.
Oh, dude, that's super cold. So because he brought the knife, the teacher was starting to like say, hey, you can't do that because it's school. And he got upset and then killed him with a knife.
Made him increasingly resentful. Apparently, that internalized hatred is what the officers think eventually led him to become so violent towards Sergei.
Wow, okay. That's
Level
pretty insane.
5.
Dude, we're only halfway through this. That's what I'm saying. These are so long. And then I talk a lot, so it takes a while.
First and last. On October 29th, 2022, thousands of people poured into Itaewon in Seoul for Halloween night, celebrating the first unrestricted festival since COVID-19. However, as the night moved forward, a steep, narrow alleyway near the Hamilton Hotel became so dangerous.
That is too many people. I do not like environments with even a quarter of this many people.
Dangerously packed that it led to an unforeseen disaster. The crowd started moving in different directions at once, some trying to go downhill, others attempting to leave. Suddenly, when a few people stumbled on the slope, they fell into those in front of them. And as a result, within seconds, others toppled over their bodies like dominoes, and even breathing became impossible. Only loud screams echoed through the district as bystanders tried to pull
Bro, I can't see them like domino, though.
victims free by their
Well, why is this guy dressed like Mario? Like, what's it?
arms, while others performed CPR on the pavement. The incident was so massive that 1,700 emergency responders, including firefighters and police officers, were dispatched at once. Ambulances lined the streets of Itaewon as unconscious victims were carried out on stretchers. And the situation only turned worse when thousands of people were reported missing. In fact, all the families were asked to visit temporary morgues that were set up for body identification. The investigators later concluded the tragedy was caused by extreme overcrowding and failed crowd control in a narrow sloping
Bro, because like 2 people tripped, like 1,000 people died.
alley. But what they suppressed was, despite earlier warnings, only 137 officers were assigned for over 100,000 people at the festival.
Wow.
With no barriers or crowd control
Nah, it'll be fine. They'll be fine. That's like 1,000 to 1. It's okay.
plan in place. As a result, by the time enough police and emergency services arrived at the scene, the stampede had claimed at least 153 lives. Most of them were teenagers and people in their 20s who went there to celebrate their first and sadly
Oh, you'd especially think they're the ones that can are agile enough to get out of that situation.
last night of freedom. A crowded head. A teenage boy walked into one of the busiest shopping malls in Bangkok, Siam
Ooh, that's pretty though. What is this? I've never seen anything like this.
Paragon, and quickly headed toward a ground floor restroom. However, his intention for it was anything but relieving himself. The ordinary noise of the shopping center was suddenly shattered by sharp
Oh, I thought he said restaurant. I was like, why would you go to a restaurant to relieve yourself? Like, that didn't make any sense.
cracks in the afternoon of October 3rd, 2023. At first, some shoppers thought the sounds were coming from a construction site, but when more shots erupted, people began running in panic. Some employees pulled customers inside and locked doors, and others hid in bathrooms or crouched behind counters. That seemingly innocent boy was actually carrying a blank pistol that had been modified to fire live ammunition. Using that, he fired over 40 rounds of bullets in the mall, hitting multiple people at random. As a result, Xiao Jinan, a 34-year-old tourist from China, was fatally wounded. Moi Myint, a 31-year-old...
You a tourist? You went to a different place and just committed a crime like that? Why?
employee from Myanmar who worked at a toy store was also killed, and 5 others were severely injured. Even when help arrived, the incident had caused so much chaos that ambulances struggled through Bangkok's heavy traffic to get the victims to the hospital. However, police quickly located the suspect, and since the boy had run low on ammunition, he eventually surrendered to the officers. But during the interrogation, something even more unsettling came to light. The boy was identified as Fasid Trutasanomin. He said it was the strange voices in his head that made him and he felt like someone was about to attack him, which ended in a mental breakdown. Apart from that, he didn't talk about any other motive. The further investigation revealed that he had been under treatment for mental illness for a long time, but had recently stopped taking his medication. And the result led to a massacre, which the boy eerily summed up saying, "I wanted to shoot people."
I'm glad only 3 died out of 40 shots. And this kid's 14. Wow. Life is... There's no way they take him to juvie and just let him out, right? Or is that what they... I think that's what they have to do.
Boy eerily summed up,
but maybe not in this country,
saying, "I wanted to shoot people." At the same time, the cops further arrested 3 more people who were suspected of selling the boy those modified weapons. Meanwhile, on October 13th, 2023, one of the injured victims died from her wounds, raising the death toll to 3. Consequently, the boy was charged with premeditated murder, attempted murder, illegal possession of a firearm, and several other felonies.
Of course, dude. That was horrible, though. I mean, that was just like a mass shooter situation, randomly, and he's a tourist.
Stress call from the same area. The caller frantically China. A guy in his mid-20s was walking casually. Soon after, the city police received a distress call from the same area. The caller frantically said that a man kept moving through the crowd carrying a knife and stabbing people one after another. It didn't look like he was attacking anyone deliberately. Instead, whoever was unfortunate enough to catch his eye was the next target. In an instant, the evening of June 5th, 2021 turned into a nightmare. Panic erupted as people ran for their lives, while several victims collapsed onto the pavement, drenched in blood.
I wonder if this has anything to do with lockdown, though, and like the effects of it just being for too long, for like a year of lockdown.
But the moment the police rushed towards Renmin Road, the suspect
Oh, maybe not. I mean, they're not even wearing masks.
fled toward a nearby bus station. After a 5-minute search, with the help of bystanders, he was finally apprehended and taken into custody for the murder of 6 people that evening. The investigation identified him as 25-year-old Wu Liang from Huaining County, an unemployed man with a troubled past marked by a dysfunctional family and mental illness. He even dropped out of primary school after his parents' divorce and frequently ran away from home. Even worse,
What up, holy cannoli? That's a sick name, dude.
in July 2015, he was imprisoned for 14 months in Wuhan for intentional injury after a runaway incident. But after being released in September 2016, he planned for another attack. In fact, that's why he bought the knife online and scouted Renmin Road beforehand. In custody, Wu confessed that he had acted out of a pessimism and
Dude, I feel like there's so much less strict in places like not the US, actually. And they're not strict enough in the US either, which is like, I just don't get why, you know? When people like kill somebody else, like, why is it not so simple?
a desire to vent anger at society. Further investigation uncovered some chilling posts he had written online. He admitted to practicing stabbing with a sharpened toothbrush. Strangling was too exhausting.
What are you practicing stabbing for? And you tried out strangling and you're just like, yeah, that one's probably not for me.
More disturbingly, he wrote that he would rather become infamous than fade away into an ordinary old age. In the end, the erratic man was sentenced to death, which was carried out on February 15th, 2022.
I mean, that doesn't make you infamous. I mean, you know, I feel like barely anyone knows about that.
Certificate of Rage. An ordinary Saturday at Wuxi Vocational Institute of Arts and Technology in China turned chaotic when a 21-year-old recent graduate visited the campus. Since he was a familiar face, no one gave him a second glance until several screams echoed. Without warning, the man began lunging at people in sight with a knife, starting a brutal mass stabbing. Some students froze in shock while others frantically ran for their lives.
Dude, these ones are so like brutal. It's like so like real too. It's like almost too much sometimes.
The attacker started at the western campus entrance, moved to the library entrance, then stabbed more people in male dormitories number 11 and 12, bathrooms, before hiding in bushes and targeting female dorms number 7 to 9. Inside, terrified students barricaded the dorm doors with benches and bookshelves. When local police arrived after receiving the distress call, he was still continuing the attack from the sports field. The officers detained him immediately, but by that time, the massacre had already taken 8 people's lives.
Holy shit, dude. That was fast too.
Leaving 17 more severely wounded.
Whoa, he got to that many people. That's crazy. That's crazy. How did no one stop him though? I mean, these are young people that could easily like fight him. I know he has a knife, but you guys outnumber him.
Surprisingly, in custody, he confessed without hesitation, and that's when another disturbing reality unraveled. The man was identified as Xu Jiajin, who had graduated from that same institution in 2024, but he had failed to receive his diploma because of poor grades. Beside that, he had been unhappy with the low pay.
Bro, I mean, yeah, you didn't pass. I feel like you can be upset about that, but that's not like take revenge.
During his internship. As his frustrations became unbearable, he returned to campus on November 16th, 2024, and like every responsible adult avoiding responsibility, he wanted the institute to pay for his life going badly. But on the contrary side, several people on the internet called him a self-proclaimed Maoist. They suggested the attack was his own personal act of rebellion. And that was reinforced when the officers found a confession letter in his bag where he explained his situation and wrote, "I hope my death can bring progress in labor laws," along with a particular phrase, "Long live the proletariat." Apparently, the attacker
So it was really deep then. This guy was actually like really thoughtful and deep.
had planned to hurt everyone for revenge and take his own life in the end. By chance, after being arrested, he was charged with intentional and ultimately received a death sentence. So in a tragic way,
I mean, that should be so much more common, dude. Yeah, they were just sentenced to death. Oh, they killed somebody? Yeah, they were sentenced to death. Not 15 to whatever, and then maybe this. Laney, what's up, Laney?
unlocked. What made this situation so strange is that no one had heard anything, but the security cameras had captured the terrifying reality. 8 hours ago, on the night of February 4th, 2022, a man named Jimmy Singh parked his red rental car and calmly walked toward the villa.
Ooh, red is not the move. Red is not the move. Isn't red the color that gets pulled over the most? And it's a rental car? I feel like you're just going to have a bad time. Because they're going to pull you over and you'll be like, oh, it's not my car. It's a rental. And then it's just bad from there.
But the moment he stepped
They're going to think you're like trafficking humans because, that happens, which is crazy. Humans suck.
inside, he knew something was off. Two men suddenly came around the corner and fired 19 shots at him, killing him on the spot. Later, the investigation revealed that the killers had arrived in Phuket 2 months ago to keep an eye on him. On February 2nd, one of them placed a GPS tracker underneath Jimmy's car.
Now, this dude kind of looks like an assassin of some sort, so I could see it. I don't know what background that would be like, I'm bad at telling people's where from thing.
As a result, by February 4th, the day of the attack, they knew exactly where Jimmy would be. We Cafe for lunch, and after that, back to the hotel.
That kind of looks like a nice cafe, though, You get like a nice avocado something there. Salad and coffee. Okay. I don't know if I'll ever drink coffee with salad or eat salad with coffee. That's just ridiculous.
For lunch, and after that, back to the hotel. So they waited for the perfect moment to strike. However, at 7:54 p.m. that day, the CCTV cameras captured them again. They were dressed too casually, carrying a backpack to blend in.
Twinning it up. Like, what? It's suspicious.
Tourists heading to the beach. And after the attack, they were gone. When the police dug deeper, they discovered that the killers hadn't even checked out of their hotel. In fact, they had left their clothes in a bin somewhere along the way and left the guns in the shallow water of Chalong Bay. Eventually, the ballistics matched. But those killers not only left Phuket, but also moved to Canada. So the police had to issue warrants via Interpol.
Okay, well, they had a plan. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you gotta wear the right outfit. Like, you gotta blend in. They were like trying to blend in. That's not how you do it.
However, 15 days later, one of the killers, who was identified as Matthew Leandre Ovide Dupre, was finally arrested in Alberta. But the other man,
he got kind of a weird build.
Leandre Ovide Dupre, was finally.
Look at that, and the fit. Like, what was his day gonna be
arrested
like?
in Alberta. But the other man, Jean Carl Larkamp, died in a plane crash near Ontario in April the same year before he could be caught. In the end, Matthew was extradited to Phuket and charged with premeditated. But
the other guy, it's just like a universe death sentence, That just kind of happens, I think. The universe doesn't like when you it's karma, right? Isn't that what it is?
Why did they want to kill Jimmy Singh in the first place? It was
See ya, holy cannoli. You're awesome, by the way. Thank you for tuning in.
Revealed that he was a key player in the ketamine syndicate with the code name Slice. By the age of 20, Jimmy was already...
Oh, Slice is cool. Slice, and then I have like a loaf of bread tattoo or something. Ooh, like a huge like piece of toast tattoo, like right on my chest. They call me Slice.
Wanted in India for operating 14 factories across 3 states, shipping ketamine to Thailand, Canada, and Africa. Many claimed he owned a major substance manufacturing factory in Goa, India. In 2016, he was
But I
deported.
feel like at that point, like, I feel like I kind of get it that they're using like, you know, prehistoric stuff to make drugs. Because like, what else are you gonna make that's exciting?
Manufacturing factory in Goa, India. In 2016, he was deported from Canada for ties to the UN-linked crime gang Brother Keepers and the Mafia. Even during his stay in Thailand, he was playing a major role in international trafficking, so his rivals from Canada wanted him eliminated. This led to the midnight ambush at the villa by the two Canadians.
That was not smooth at all. None of it. Like, yeah, they went to Canada. They had a plan for that, but like, this was so messy.
Assassins.
And like 19 shots is like, ain't no way this guy was gonna survive.
The casting trap. Wang Xing was an aspiring Chinese actor seeking new projects, but he never imagined that his job search would take him somewhere unknown, a place nobody returns from. In December 2024, Wang noticed a viral post about a casting opportunity with a Thai company and quickly applied. Within 3 days after a successful audition, he was selected. But Wang hesitated before going to the studio in Thailand because the location details felt slightly unclear.
Nah, the second you feel that that's just the universe telling you not to do it. And you gotta like click in.
However, the client convinced him to go, promising more overseas projects in the future. So on January 2nd, 2025, Wang flew to Bangkok expecting a normal shoot. From Bangkok Suvarnabhumi Airport, he got
they better be paying for the travel, otherwise I'm not buying
into a pickup car and shared his live location with his girlfriend, Jia. But after 11 a.m., his messages stopped. Rather, the last location he shared was suspiciously far from the airport near the Thailand-Burma border crossing. Worried, on January 3rd, Jia reported Wang missing to the Shanghai police, but they couldn't act due to jurisdictional limits.
I mean, at that point, that's kind of smart on the criminal side. Like, that's just too wide, and you know that's a defect for the police.
So she contacted the Chinese embassy in Thailand and the consulate in Chiang Mai. She even posted a desperate plea on Weibo, China's version of X, which went viral and soon trended.
There's a China version of X?
Nationwide. Finally,
and don't
as
call
Jai
it X.
traveled to Bangkok and formally filed reports, Thai authorities found a shocking truth in their investigation. The car that picked up Wang was never destined to go to any shooting location. Instead, it drove for hours longer than expected, heading more than 300 miles from Bangkok toward Mae Sot.
Yeah, I didn't realize a car picked him up. I mean, I thought he was just like taking a plane, like, or different plane routes. I didn't know he was getting picked up. That's just sketchy right off rip. Like, I don't know.
Wang's car crossed.
They can pay for the travel, but don't have me picked up. You know what I mean? Like give me a ticket so I can fly on the plane.
Crossed the Moi River into Myanmar, where he was taken to Apollo Park, an infamous hub for cyber scams. There, Wang had to go through things that no one could ever fathom. His head was shaved and he was placed in a building with around 50 other Chinese nationals and more detainees in nearby buildings. But what followed next was worse. For the next 2 to 3 days, Wang was forced to undergo.
Oh my God. He looks totally different. He looked like there was like life in his face.
A rigorous fraud training focused on text-based scams targeting the Chinese. Deeply terrified and shaken, he lived in constant fear, barely slept, and feared he might never escape that place. However, within a few days, Thai police had located Wang. And after some negotiations involving Thai officials, Myanmar authorities, and the Karen National Army, Wang was handed over at the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge. Photos showed him with a shaved head, wearing a white shirt and shorts, standing beside Thai police. On January 11th, 2025, Wang finally returned to China. But how a simple casting message trapped him to commit the very fraud he was the victim of.
Oh, well, dude, I mean, you basically got like trafficked for like text fraud scams. Like, I mean, that's horrible.
Left everyone deeply disturbed.
I think that's why it's like some people don't understand, they do like trafficking for a lot of stuff. It's not just like sex trafficking. Like they just sell humans, which is horrible.
57-year-old Doan Van Sang worked at Vietnam's market management, processing files, signing papers, and heading home like any other official. Everyone knew him as a quiet and decent man until the early weeks of 2025, when everyone noticed a foul smell and flies around his house. A couple of days later, a neighborhood dog even dragged a small bone fragment.
Wow, has he never seen a movie, dude? There's no way you're gonna hide a body in like your house. There's just not gonna. You're not gonna get away with that. I mean, even if your neighbors are like super far away, I feel like it's gonna smell bad, dude, and you're not gonna be able to deal with that.
There, though nobody paid much attention to it. But in early July 2025, a mysterious video called "The Vietnamese Butcher" shook the internet hard. It showed a man on his back on the floor touching himself. The moment he finished, another man stepped in and, in one swift motion, cut off his head with a large knife. Other clips showed the act from different angles and the aftermath. The body was carved up with butcher-like precision, parts piled, organs separated to prepare a traditional Asian dish from them. A longer version of the video showed a rehearsal of this. In it, the killer, wearing a cheap anonymous-style mask, ran the blade along the victim's neck and feigned a few strikes. The victim knelt with his head on a block, and at one point he lifted his head to briefly hug the killer. After that, the real killing took place. Even the description of
Why?
it sounds too sick to listen to. Visually, it's way too graphic to show on YouTube, involving scenes of dismemberment and cannibalism. But we recovered some audio. However, even in the video, no one's face was recognizable. The videos were removed from the internet quickly, except for some fragmented audio. But 4 months later, when people began to move on from it, an 88-page document appeared on the internet.
Dude, it just sounded like he was like cutting onions. Like, I feel like any cutting sound is now just gonna like disturb me.
It had been assembled by anonymous civilian investigators who had spent months gathering evidence to crack open the mystery behind those gruesome videos. And the entire world stood in shock when the evidence pointed to one prime suspect. Quiet official from market management, Doan Van Sang. Overnight, the document flooded social media and public pressure became impossible to ignore. Finally, on November 28, 2025, the police formally opened a case, arrested Doan Van Sang, sealing his office. But the case cracked wide open again when police discovered disturbing details about the victims. Nguyen Van Dat.
Yeah, like why are they doing that? Like, are they letting him do it?
He had death fantasies connected to intimate encounters, including decapitation, and they were linked to a
How though? How that you can do it one time? You can do it one time.
Fetish about being consumed. He himself posted on fringe sites like Motherless and WPD, sharing all these.
What happens to be? How does your brain like get messed up like that to where you're like, you know what? I'd really love to get decapitated. Like that would just like, yeah, that would really do it for me.
Fantasies using the alias .beheading. On hookup sites, he even asked someone to translate a disturbing Japanese story called Applicant for Death. In a shocking turn, he later died in a way that closely mirrored the story, including its extreme and violent elements. Dawn first met Nguyen online in 2020, and their conversations quickly drifted.
Oh, it's just one dude he did this to?
Disturbing territory, focusing on extreme and violent fantasies. But one particular text of Nguyen changed everything, where he wrote, "Not only am I ugly, but I'm also full of diseases. I can't afford to live freely like normal folks. I have to depend on my parents my whole life. What else could I do? I truly am a prisoner of my very own fate."
Wow, that's actually incredibly sad, right? There's some great, and this is just the Asian side, you know, the Asian internet. So, I mean,
if it wasn't because of God, I would have ended my life already. I wish to meet someone that, once we've become close enough, could kill me, because I really wanted to make friends with such people, but I know that once I've done that, I won't be normal again. I wanna. Eventually, on January 25th, 2025, just days before the Tet holiday, Duan phoned Nguyen and invited him to the compound where he worked. And that was the last time Nguyen was ever seen. In that compound,
Does he still get
they filmed a
sentenced for
rehearsal
this,
to
though?
cater to Nguyen's fetishes, then carried out the fatal act with Nguyen voluntarily placing himself on a cutting board, which was later seen in the gruesome leaked footage. When investigators discovered Nguyen's remains in the drains and septic tank at Duan's home, everyone found it hard to believe that a man like Duan could do this. But signs were there, including the smell, the flies, the dogs dragging
He just
bones.
had him sitting there,
Only
though?
if anyone had looked closer, the truth would have surfaced sooner.
And then we get nothing about, like, the case or, like, his sentence. Fuck.
Behind the scenes, thousands of fans were watching their favorite content creators live stream on the night of September 14th, 2020. Suddenly, a creepy man appeared on the screen and it went dark, leaving the fans panicked. Lamo, or Lamu, was a simple Tibetan farmer from China. Her beauty, paired with simple rural life vlogs, cooking videos, and dance performances, earned her 770,000 followers on Weibo. That night, too, she went live as usual, but it ended in horror. While she was streaming from her kitchen, a figure suddenly appeared behind her, poured gasoline, and set her on fire. Her camera was still broadcasting, but the screen was black. She was quickly rushed to the hospital. Despite that, with burns covering 90% of her body, she died within 5 days, leaving 2 young children behind. But when the investigation started, it
What? And she had 2 kids? That's fucking insane, dude. Why?
revealed a grim truth. The man behind her that night was none other than Tang Lu,
Some
her
stupid
ex-husband.
jealousy thing.
He was arrested
Yep.
the same night on suspicion of intentional, and only then did the full picture come to the public. Lamu divorced Tang in June 2020 due to years of physical abuse. But after the divorce, Tang Lu kept coming back, asking her to remarry. In fact, he even threatened to kill their sons if Lamu didn't remarry him. When Lamu refused that as well and fled to her father's house, it led to this horrific incident. What Tang wasn't expecting was that it would spark a nationwide outrage and protest against domestic abuse. Lamu's social media account became a protest symbol for countless Chinese women.
All she wanted to do was get away from it, and she literally couldn't.
Who had endured the same trauma. In October 2021, Tang Lu was eventually sentenced to death. But that wasn't the end of it.
Dude, do they do that here? Do they just sentence people to death? Like, I feel like that's so simple. I feel like we should be doing that more often.
For many, Lamu's final life.
Dude, that's so sad for the kids. And then you, like, at some point they got to get told what happened. You know, not now.
Revealed what was hidden behind closed doors and treated as a private matter. In fact, even Lamu's sister Doma reported that police had dismissed her complaints twice as family matters.
I said it earlier, dude. It just ends up in being me upset with the police every time.
Despite her too being repeatedly
Literally
beaten by Tang. The only tragic part is that Lamu had to sacrifice her life for people to finally pay attention. All of these incidents were horrific. And if you'd like to see more of this iceberg, check out Volume 1 of the most disturbing thing.
Dude, he posts so many videos. There is no way to keep track. It's not. Yeah, exactly. How do you tell him, bro? Like, that's the worst part.